Welcome to Inventors Arena. I'm Ed, and this is Scott, and today we're going to discuss how to grow your business around your invention. Scott, lead it off.
You know, Ed, we work with a lot of inventors, and we have found that they're very good at creating their idea and crafting it, and they can often explain it from a technical perspective. But as we say, they don't know what they don't know. And often we find that inventors who are very good at creating an idea are not so great at the business side of it and bringing their idea to market.
Yeah, they're good at inventing or great at inventing.
And I think the statistics show where only 5% of the people actually are able to take a patented idea and monetize it. And that's a rate that we're working on. You know, that's part of our journey, part of our vision at the Inventors Arena is to try to help all of those inventors along the way so we have a higher success rate.
That's right. So they can combine invention plus business, right?
And that's how we tied up together, because you're a U.S. patent agent. I'm a business and management consultant. And we have found that our clients are very strong in something that one of us does and very weak in the other side of it.
Yeah.
And that is almost across the board, it seems like.
It is.
Yeah. And really, they struggle with both because most of them are first-time inventors and they've never gone through the patent process. So they have their idea, but they don't know what to do with it in terms of protection.
Yeah, and in terms of development and in terms of marketing and sales and all, there's so much to know, right?
And they don't know, as we say, they don't know what they don't know. But what we know is for them to be able to be successful, they have to combine that inventor's patent side of their idea with the business side if they intend to monetize their idea and make money from it.
Yes. Yeah, I would say inventors, like we spoke about, they're great at being creative as an inventor, right? And I would encourage inventors to do what they do best, which is be creative, be inventive, right? And then I would also encourage you to figure, what are your goals? You know, we highly suggest monetization, and we want you to be honest with yourself. You don't know what you don't know. Business allows you the potential to make money if it's a great idea, but it takes a lot of effort and a whole bunch of other things of the development. But once you get there, and it's not always money that makes you successful by any means. You know, there's some things for the environment that make the world a better place and all kinds of things. But generally, success is measured in some form of monetization or improvement in a big way anyway.
Yeah. We call it the journey. It's the journey from your idea, your concept, all the way to what we call cash or monetization. Mm-hmm. And there are a lot of steps along the way. And there are a lot of steps that most inventors know very little about. But yet when it comes time to come to market or sit with investors, they have to be very well packaged, very professional, and confident enough to sit across the table to deliver their pitch and to say, this is my idea, this is why it will work, this is why you should invest in it, and this is why customers will pay money for my idea.
Yeah, well, giving it that extra oomph, so it's all professional and all really well done, that really lends to that confidence, right? And that goes such a long ways. And also having a very strategic plan is super important too. You know,
we have found that most business plans are not strategic.
No.
And they identify the outcome, which is I'm going to come to market, or I'm going to have an exit, or we're going to make so much money, you know, in gross revenue or profit. And all of that is great, but those are outcomes. Those aren't strategies. And investors typically notice that early on, and then they will come back and ask you all the questions that you should have asked yourself and included in that business plan.
Yes.
Yeah, it's lacking the strategic mindset, the strategic thought. And that's a red flag, and that's why a lot of business plans never make it to the decision phase.
That's right. And once you get to that decision phase, then you've got kind of the options then for, or at least the potential for the right connections for the development if you don't already have it, and for that necessary funding, right? That's so important. And like Scott mentioned, we're not all about monetizing, but it's a pretty important point as to success factors. making some money. It's from, so you've got your product, and if you've got a nice shiny patent to put on your wall, that's cool. But it's nice to be actually seeing it in the store shelf and making some money around it, changing people's lives. So monetizing comes down to creating a business around your invention. Like we're saying, the invention side has to tie in with the business side for that to happen, because you can have the best idea in the world and it not be successful if you don't know what you're doing and how to maintain it, how to build on it, and how to really grow it oftentimes. So, and maybe you don't have a business, or maybe you do, and you're adding it to it. Like you can start your business around your one product, and then some people have a product line already and they're like, well, we want the next best thing that suits our product line. So that's another position. So you're going to really have to look where you're at and kind of assess that. Like I said, one invention or a small product line or more. And like we were talking with Scrub Daddy, he went to a very different thing from his already had a product line, but he went to Scrub Daddy, and then from there he made a complete another product line with the help of with Lori. So, and to do that, business is not easy. It's lots of sales and marketing, right? They're quite often key, and that's where I think a lot of people get lost too.
Yeah, there's a business to doing business. There's a business aspect of it that a lot of people don't think about when they start their business. An inventor says, I've got a great idea, and it may be the greatest since sliced bread. But if you don't know how to design it, to patent it, to market it, to figure out your pricing strategy, to get an investor to buy in on it, to get a distribution network,
on and on,
on and on and on.
Trends of the
all of those
industry
business aspects, we're never going to see that product on the shelf.
Yeah.
So there is a business side of doing it, and we encourage everybody to think through a business plan, even if Uncle Bob is going to provide all of your funding and Uncle Bob doesn't ask for a business plan. It really helps you to create one, because it forces you to model the way you do business, and to think about all of those possibilities and the risk assessment and all that stuff. And we need more products. People say, well, everything that could be created and invented has already been invented. But yet we go into the Gazette and we see new patents issued every week, right? So that is not the case.
12 million plus in all time. But yeah, I think it was 100 and some odd years ago, somebody had said, oh, there's nothing new under the sun to invent, and how wrong they were. Now we're literally landing rocket ships in tongs, and it's unbelievable. And society really benefits as well as the individuals in it.
It is, and we need those new products. Businesses need them, consumers need them, the marketplace. And when you think about it, with all of the renewable energy, green energy, artificial intelligence, we're seeing a plethora of new inventions coming out that 10 years ago, we probably wouldn't even be discussing.
That's right.
And because they are new and the marketplace is new, they really don't know what the industry looks like. They are still trying to struggle with the business side of doing business with these new product ideas.
Yeah, and also I guess some companies, when you think about it, they're based on pretty much novel products only. Like they're always the cutting edge. They're pretty exciting companies to follow.
They are. And of course, the ultimate measure is sales.
Yes.
Revenue generation, sales, however you want to look at it. It's great to have an idea. It's great to have the patent that you hang on the wall in your den at home, if you want to do that. But ultimately, most of us say the ultimate measure is, are you profiting? Are you monetizing? Are you commercializing? Are you making revenue? Do you have sales? However you want to phrase it. Are you successful by making money from your idea?
Yeah, and then that can lead to growth too, right? It's hard to do stuff without money. So I think a good point to nail on here now is, do you have a plan? So say you've got a great invention that can be professionally promoted. How do you get from invention to marketing to sales and beyond? That's a tough one. And then where from there too, because that's not the end of the road quite often. So I think having a strategic plan really leads you to success. Without a plan, if you don't have a plan, it's really hard, because you're pretty much swimming in the mud, is the way I see it.
Yeah, the toughest thing is to get your invention rolling, to get started. It's okay to sit at home and think about it and draw some diagrams and maybe do a one-page concept document, and you think, okay, it's an idea. I think it's a good idea, but you've not shared it with the world yet. It's not really rolling. You've not talked to an investor. In fact, you've not even thought about what would people be willing to price this at?
Hmm.
What values should I add to this that the marketplace might be looking for? And until you do that business plan that you're talking about and model it out, you really don't know how good your idea is.
Yes.
And there are lots of ideas, and as we know, there's some great ideas, and there's some that we know from the first discussion, like they're going to
Needs
struggle.
some work.
They're
Yeah.
going to struggle for a while to
Well, and
do
I think
this
it's
thing.
always so tough, especially on that first invention. It's kind of like the music bands that come out with their first big hit, right? It's hard enough to do the first hit or the first invention and then to follow that up. But really, if you're a music star or an inventor, you want to probably create a life around that, right? And comes with a lifestyle and a business, and I think a lot of people think that it's very easy. It's very much a dream job, and you don't really have to work too much. But in reality, that's not true. If you want great success, it's like anything else in life. It's if it's worth having and it's a great thing, then it's going to be probably lots of work and
Yeah.
lots of ups and downs. But we realize that, and that's why we kind of made the course, and that's why we're helping with this series so that we can touch out to inventors and encourage them to be with the inventors groups and so on, and so they get a really well-rounded knowledge of what it takes.
Well, we mentor a lot of inventors along the way, and we encourage two things. One, you have to remain positive all the time,
Yes.
because, as we said from the beginning, you don't know what you don't know, so you're going to hit a wall at some point,
Many times, probably. Yeah.
probably many times. And if you get discouraged and you stop, that's the end of your idea. So you have to remain positive, and maybe you do set it aside for a week and you say, okay, what's my solution to this? How can I end run this? Let's meet with Ed and Scott. Let's have a mentorship session. Let's meet with the mentor at the local inventors group. Let's talk to my banker or my CPA. Let's see what kind of solutions they have. It's being positive and constantly moving forward.
Yeah, that
We found,
proactivity.
yes, most inventors that have those two characteristics tend to be more successful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it really begins with a dream when you start on the front end of it, and then it's where from there. It's after a while it gets to be rinse and repeat, but it takes a while to get through that initial stages and figuring things out. And no two inventions are the same. And maybe you're thinking product line. You thought, man, this was easier before. And now it's this problem or that problem. There's just so much, but it can be done. And like you say, with those inventors groups or having somebody to really kind of tie in with that realizes, the excitement or the heartache or all that stuff that goes with it, the loneliness. It's pretty nice to have somebody along on the road with you and to have some guidance. Wouldn't it feel great to just build a successful business around your invention? Wouldn't that, like a lot of inventors, that's their dream, right?
Yeah.
And I would encourage dream big and make it happen. You can start dreaming small, but it tends to be how big your dream is its possibility.
Yeah. We do a lot of sessions where we encourage the inventors to start with the vision, the end product, where they want this to be ultimately. And we encourage them to think big, outside of the box. And then we can help them design strategies to get there. But if you start small and you get strategies to be small, you're going to be small.
Yeah. And we know it isn't easy, but it certainly can be done. It's been done many times. And we'd really like to improve that 5% number, especially here in the States and actually in all North America, all in the world, really. And we also know from experience that it's got to be done the right way. It's got to be done professionally. Like, we want to help drive in innovation, and we want to see you be successful. We want to see the rockets landing with tongs and but it takes a ton of proper preparation. It takes implementation, and often it takes getting funding, to change your world and the world around you.
Yeah, I would say that if you are an inventor, or even if you're just thinking about being an inventor, you have an idea. Maybe you're still working your job and you think, could I make this work? Could this idea be something that I could patent? Can I make a living off of this idea and quit that job and have revenue coming in from here? And oftentimes the answer is yes. If everything is done correctly and you package correctly, you get the right investors, the right team in place, sure, that is absolutely the case. And there's some things along the way that we always advise. And one is to find a local inventors group.
Yes.
Even if you can't find one, physically located near you, maybe there's some virtual ones. Maybe there's some, places online that you can connect with like-minded people, because they have someone in the room who has experienced what you're struggling with right now. Whether you call them an official mentor or you just buy them lunch once a month and share ideas with them in an unofficial way, there's somebody in that room that can help you move forward.
And you can help them too.
Yeah. So we encourage everyone to attend as regularly as possible an inventors group. And if you can't find one, if you go to our website, theinventorsarena.com, and you scroll all the way to the bottom, we have a map of those inventor groups across the United States that have signed up on our website to reach out to you so you can use them as a resource.
Yeah, that's a great thing. And keep watching the channel. We're trying to give you as much inventor-related content as we possibly can, and we're trying to follow the suggestions that we get from the audience. So keep giving those suggestions and keep giving us the thumbs up. Like and subscribe for new content, and we'll see you next week.
The Inventors Arena, we're here to